Greetings, unsettled souls. Sam I.B. the Gangi doing political commentary for the Media Speaks. Got the live stream down here. Up there, the higher definition camera. Friends, it is the Dunce Cap of the Month Award. Now, it's a little bit late this time, and I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't because I've been slacking. Remember the 12 days of Trump? I did it 12 days in a row. What was everybody in the whole world worried about just a little while ago? A week ago, as a matter of fact. 8 days by the time this posts. The election. So nobody was going to watch the Dunce Cap of the Month Award. So I went ahead and postponed it. And then the other important thing is this particular Dunce Cap has a few dunces from this month because I was so busy focusing on the 12 days of Trump that I didn't get all the dumdies that I had, and Page Plus messed up my phone, so a lot of them were saved on there. But it's fine because there were plenty of dumdies to go around this particular month. This one, hands down, would have won it if I would have known who to send the Dunce Cap to. That happens a lot, where the level of stupidity is so high, but you can't tell exactly who it is. So this pretty much goes out to the idiots in the street, at least half of them. The Hill. More than half of protesters arrested in Portland didn't vote, according to a report. In other words, they're taking to the streets saying, we want a say, and we don't want Donald Trump in it. You had a say to not have Donald Trump in office, and you voted. Right? No, you didn't. And again, people know full and well that I'm pro-Trump. But if you're not pro-Trump and you're complaining that he won, okay, I complained about Obama for 8 years. I didn't vote for the man, but I did vote. Okay, I voted. More than 100, I'm a libertarian, by the way, more than 100 people have been arrested protesting in Portland, Oregon since President-elect Donald Trump's victory last week. But a report from KGW News, right there on FactCam, shows that 69 out of 112 protesters arrested today did not cast a ballot in the state on Election Day. According to the records analyzed by KGW, 69 of these arrestees either were not registered to vote in Oregon or did not cast a ballot on November 8th. So you've got people bussed in, hauled in, and coming in there from all places. And again, I'm sure some drove themselves. I did for Bilderberg. However, they're being, in large instances, paid to be there because nobody supports Hilary Clinton anyway, so they have to make it look like they did. You've got socialists running around in the street saying they want the end of democracy. At the same time, the marijuana initiative passed, which many of them are in favor of. Not saying I'm not. Many of them are in favor of. And they're saying, down with democracy. If it wasn't for democracy, you wouldn't be allowed to be in the streets, for one. You wouldn't have a First Amendment. And you wouldn't be able to smoke a joint legally. Okay, you lost the election. It happens. At least you weren't cheated out of it, like happened to us Ron Paul fans. 25 of the demonstrators voted, the outlet reported. KGW's investigation into the voting records is ongoing. So there you go. Anti-Trump protesters, the never-Trumpers, we wanted Hillary so much that we didn't vote for her. I mean, that's just hilarious. But thank you for being stupid, because we didn't get that hag in office because of you. The other dumdy here goes to Ben Carson. Now, I don't know about you, but I find something inherently likable about Ben Carson. I don't believe he's that soft-spoken when he's really, really angry. I bet you he is not a pleasure to be around. However, I don't think it probably happens a lot. And I think that that's the kind of diplomacy in many ways that could help the country. And that kind of diplomacy is coming from a man who is a doctor. And I think it could be good to have a doctor in the White House. So, having said that, there were things about Ben Carson that I didn't like, and why go over it? I mean, he didn't run, he didn't win. You get the point. But he's a rather likable guy. So it is with a heavy heart that I give him a dumdy mention on the Dunce Cap of the Month Award show. Carson not interested in serving in the Trump administration. Now, that's fine because they had some back and forth. I guess Ben Carson went after his mother with a hammer once. Sometimes people piss you off, you know. I was a little more forgiving personally, but maybe he doesn't want to be involved with somebody that brought that kind of thing up. But that's not what he said here. Listen to this. Retired neurosurgeon Ben Carson has told President-elect Donald Trump that he isn't interested in serving as Secretary of Health and Human Services. A Carson ally confirmed to Hill on Tuesday. Business manager and close friend Armstrong Williams said Carson won't be joining the Trump administration and will only serve as an unofficial advisor. Why? Because he feels he has no government experience. He's never run a federal agency. The last thing he would want to do was take a position that could cripple the presidency. So you're saying, Mr. Ben Carson, that you are not qualified to advise the president, but you are in fact qualified enough to be president. Okay. I guess, okay, that makes no sense whatsoever. Not to mention, if he's going to run again, if he could serve on the Trump administration, then he would be able to say, hey, I've got experience. Now, if he runs in 4 years, all anybody's going to say is, you didn't have experience 4 years ago. What makes you think that you have it now? The man has just hung himself. Goodbye, Mr. Ben Carson. I liked you very, very much. I hope you recover. It's questionable. Friends, you are listening to The Correct Views, and it's brought to you by none other than Sticker Junkie. Do yourself an enormous favor and go to stickerjunkie.com to get your stickers. And when you do, make sure you take the time to type in Correct Views or The Correct Views on checkout. And when you do, you're going to be saving even more money because you're a listener of the show. You can't beat that. Friends, I don't know who this next Dumdy goes to. The off-the-cuff answer would be it goes to Madonna. For those of you that don't know, Madonna promised a BJ to anyone who voted for Clinton. Now, it was clearly a joke. I don't like Madonna. I think she has an amazing voice, but I think she's a terrible person. I really don't like Madonna very much. However, she was kidding. Just because I don't like her doesn't mean that I'm going to say she sucks, for instance. She doesn't. She has a great voice. It doesn't mean I'm going to say slander the woman as being a trollop because of what she said. She's going to give you a BJ if you vote for Clinton. It was clearly a joke. So the Dundee here is going to go to people that took it seriously. We on the right complain when we can't even tell jokes that might be off color because those things are not PC. Well, I mean, we can't attack somebody else for not being PC. So if it sounds like I'm sticking up for Madonna, I guess in this one instance I am. But this is kind of interesting. Look at this.
Yes, hello. I'm trying to see if Madonna is home. My name is Gersh. I voted for Hillary today, and she had promised people who voted for Hillary a blowjob. Is she home?
He said, I didn't get that information. Sorry for those of you that can't tell. So it says another broken campaign promise. Madonna has withdrawn her pledge to provide some satisfaction, it says, to Hillary voters. The latest disappointment in an election season, full of them. And all right, look, she was clearly kidding, but I think it's funny that somebody called her out on it. It was worthy of mention, and I'm sure, even though that reporter knew better, I'm sure there's people that did take it seriously. So we wanted to make sure it gets mentioned, and it did. All right, friends, you know how there are sayings that come up, things will happen, and they will become sayings, like, holy cow, talking about the fact that people in India were oftentimes literally starving to death, have cows walking around that are worshipped that cannot be eaten. Holy cow. Okay, that's how sayings like that come to be. I have a new one. Anthony Weiner on a horse. That is the new exclamation. I'm coining it. Literally. Right here. Anthony Weiner rides through sex addiction rehab on a horse. Now the other day, and I'm not going to laugh at this because we've all had our life crash. Do I think Uma Aberdeen should be in the White House? No, it's a questionable character to say the least. However, I don't necessarily think that she's tied to ISIS. Maybe she is. I've seen the reports. There are ties to questionable organizations with her. I'll give you that. Enough that I question her loyalty to the country, not to Clinton. But Aberdeen was seen weeping uncontrollably a couple days ago. And the media was laughing at her. I draw the line there. Her husband's a pervert. And I mean, I'm a pervert too, but I'm not a cheater. Anything ever done by me was at least allowed. But I mean, all jokes aside, Weiner destroyed his wife, humiliated his wife through what he did, even after she forgave him and was in a documentary and helped him try to run for mayor. So her marriage is over. And I think a lot of it was a sham because we all know that she's Clinton's lover, but we'll go with it. It was still somebody she likely cared about. I don't think she's a raging lesbian. They probably were intimate. They probably had some kind of a marriage, not as you and I would define it, but something that they were probably comfortable with. That's gone for her now. Sure, the White House is gone for her. Her lesbian lover, Clinton, has no hope of ever being president. The woman was clearly distraught and down, and she probably could have used Anthony Weiner, but no, Anthony Weiner on a horse. He's not even there. The man is likely going to go to prison or at least be forever in sex classes of some kind after now sexting a 14-year-old girl. We all know that I have openly stuck up for Mr. Weiner. I had to say it. All the time in terms of leaving him alone for sexting people. I don't care. It is his private life. It is between him, Aberdeen, and God. I don't like the man's policies. He was a raging leftist, and I would have never voted for him if he had kept his wiener where it should have been. However, hot dog, I am not going to go ahead and slander him for sexting until it became a 14-year-old girl, and he knew it. I mean, accidents happen, but this was not an accident. He knew. This horse's ass is getting touchy-feely with a new partner, as an exclusive photo op shows Anthony Weiner spent Friday getting a dose of equine therapy for his sex addiction at the Recovery Ranch in Nanelli, Tennessee, a Tony Woodsy respite for deep-pocketed patrons. So basically, if you have a lot of money, and you don't want to sit in the drab gray walls with inspirational posters on the walls, you're getting talked about sex counseling, then you can go, if you have a lot of money, and you can go ride horses and live the good life while it's happening. That's pretty much where Mr. Weiner is here. It makes you wonder, though, for those that are really sex addicted, should you get sex addicted women near a horse? Yeah, I guess I went there, didn't I? The perverted former Queen's Bull wore a bright blue riding helmet. That would be Carlos Danger, his sex name. A green t-shirt, blue jeans, and sneakers, and he saddled up his poor animal and hopped aboard, accompanied by Blonde. Weiner, who was caught aggressively texting other women, including an underage girl, while married to top Hilary Clinton aide Uma Aberdeen, looked pensive as he meandered through the trees and expansive ranch. I bet he did. Because let's face it, even if the man, we all know what he's done and he had it coming to some degree, his life's over too. I mean, you got to imagine what he feels like. If you watch the Weiner documentary, no, it's not a porn. If you watch the Weiner documentary, you'll see that he recovered largely from his first sexting scandal and was doing very good in the mayoral race for New York. And then, of course, he got caught doing it again. And it wasn't just more than one person the first time. He had actually done it again based on when it was done. Wow. He recently got in more hot water with the Democratic Party when authorities investigating his sexting scandal discovered he had emails on his computer that could be linked to the FBI. So he also helped cost Clinton, thankfully, the election. Weiner is 52, and he now stands worlds away, it says, putting his time in at a scheduled recovery ranch. After Aberdeen jettisoned him, they are separated. When it surfaced, he had even sexted selfies with his 4-year-old son sleeping in the background. Oops. And again, I mean, we're not going to kick the Weiner when he's down, but wow, Anthony Weiner on a horse. All right, friends. The runner-up for Dunce Cap of the Month is here. It's from climatedepot.com. Hilary Clinton blames a hurricane on climate change, says Donald Trump totally unfit to protect the USA from the threat of climate change. Now, we have proven ad nauseum on here that there is no man-made global warming. Man-made global warming is a lie. Well, you could very easily rephrase, I'm serious, you could rephrase that sentence as Hillary Clinton blames Hillary Clinton on climate change, says Donald Trump totally unfit to protect the USA from the threat of the Easter Bunny, the threat of the Tooth Fairy, the threat of Bob, the Invisible Man. Speaking to supporters in Tampa, Hillary Clinton says climate change is wreaking havoc on communities across America. Clinton warns that Hurricane Hermione is not the last that's going to hit Florida, given what's happening in the climate. Now, see, that's why she gets damn near the Dunce Cap of the Month. Why don't I give her the Dunce Cap of the Month? Because I don't think we really need to kick somebody when they're down. She is the most despicable person ever. We defeated her. I don't think we need to kick her when she's down. I've sent her a dunce cap before. I'm not afraid to send Hillary Clinton a dunce cap. But that which you do, I guess, to some degree comes back on you, and you don't need to kick somebody when they're already down. Am I glad she lost? Thrilled. She's a witch. And she's an idiot. Florida will always get hurricanes because of where Florida is. Not because of climate change, but because of where Florida is. Climate change is caused by the sun. It is not caused by anything that man does. But listen to this. Another threat to our country is climate change. 2015 was the hottest year on record. No, it's not. It's only on the hottest year since they started testing them. If you go back geologically and look at rocks, there have been entire epochs that are full of climate change caused by the sun that was both far hotter and far colder than we are seeing now, long before the invention of the combustion engine. But this is not the last one that's going to hit Florida, given what's happening with the climate. It affects people who lose their homes. Yeah, no, that's like saying that because of climate change, the tidal wave that hit Fukushima, you're going to see other tidal waves and earthquakes in Japan, of course, because, quite frankly, Japan was created by an earthquake. And you're going to see earthquakes there forever because that's what that part of the world does. Not because a man is driving a car. So we're going to go to this real quick, and then we'll go to the dunce cap.
Another threat to our country is climate change.
Ooh.
2015 was the hottest year on record, and
untrue.
Science is clear.
It is not clear.
It's real. It's wreaking havoc on communities across America. Last week's hurricane was another reminder of the devastation that extreme weather can cause, and I send my thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by Hermine. But this is not the last one that's going to hit Florida.
You don't say.
Given what's happening in the climate. It affects people who lose their homes or their businesses that took a lifetime to build. Doesn't matter to him. When it comes to protecting our country against natural disasters and the threat of climate change, once again, Donald Trump is totally unfit and unqualified.
All right, look, this is what's hilarious to me. Absolutely mind-blowingly funny. Hillary Clinton, man is not warming the planet nor causing any hurricanes. However, thank God we do not have to listen to your wretched voice for 4 years because you lost. The truth is this. What costs people businesses that's caused by man are people like Black Lives Matter and the protesters on your side that go out, burn down businesses that people have taken their whole lives to build up. Just like you said, Donald Trump's climate change promotion, which isn't happening, is going to do, your side paid protesters to do things like that. So you are actually the one who is unfit. In fact, God alive, you didn't win. And friends, from Change Taxi, Call Change Transportation, I should say. Look them up on Facebook. They're cheaper and better than Uber. We give you the Dunce Cap of the Month Award winner. Oh, yeah, there's our Dunce Cap of the Month music. Oh, yes. What is it? F you, Gary Johnson. F Gary Johnson from Jezebel.com from the slot. They're blaming Gary Johnson for the fact that Hilary Clinton lost. Never mind the fact that they ran somebody who had a scandal at every corner and who wanted to take our country in the direction of socialism. Let me get to something real quick. Let me show you exactly what it is they tried to do with Hillary Clinton. The same thing they did with Barack Obama. This country does not want to be socialists. They try to indoctrinate it in the schools. They do everything they can to push socialism. And it loses, as they saw with John Kerry, this new wave of liberalism, which is anything but liberalism. Classic liberalism is fine, not this socialism liberalism that we're seeing today. People have rejected it. We do not want open borders. We do not want Obamacare. We do not want NAFTA. We do not want our troops in every nation in the world. We do not want to police the world. We do not want the federal government in charge of what we say. We do not want the federal government in charge of our guns. We want them out of our lives. And this has been abundantly clear. So they bring out Obama and say, well, we're just going to reword this. I hate when people do that. And no is no. And then someone rewords it some other boneheaded way. Oh my God, I hate that. So they bring Obama in and said, well, let's have him say the same thing in a different way. Let's have him lie a little bit and let's make him a black man. That way, no matter what you say against what the man has done, you will be called a racist. Never mind the fact that you would have never voted for him if he was white. They can make it race, and it worked for that. It worked. That's how we got Obama, because people wanted to vote for a black man instead of instead of a man who was saying things that mattered. And I'm not against a black man for president. Walter E. Williams is who I'd like to see for president more than anybody else that comes to mind. This is nuts. They tried to do it with Clinton. Well, if you're against all of this, then you must be against women. Guess what? It failed. It had nothing to do with Gary Johnson. It had nothing to do with Jill freaking Stien. Both of which were practically Bernie Sanders, which is why I didn't vote for Gary Johnson. I did last time, by the way. Gary Johnson, a libertarian nominee, so baldly ill-equipped to win the presidency. Now, this is them saying this, not me. That his own VP, Bill Weld, semi-openly supported Clinton, has done his part to the tune of 4 million votes, which is a historic win for the libertarians, to help ensure a Donald Trump presidency. F you, Gary. We see, and we won't forget this. And F you too, Jill Stien. Sometime in the near future, the good people left in this country will need to rise above vindictiveness in order to adequately face what's about to happen. You don't call it vindictive when you just said F you, Gary Johnson, and F you, Jill Stien, because people voted for them, because they ran. So now they're condemning Gary Johnson for his love of weed, even though both the left and the right now are wanting to legalize weed, but the left more so. Small government, twaddle they call it, because they want big government. Look at that. They're attacking him based on issues. Now, if we attack Obama on issues, we're racist. Racist. You're racist. They did it to Johnson here. His ability, they're laughing at the fact that he can climb mountains. Now they're laughing at his foreign policy, which did leave questions. Look, plain and simple, Gary Johnson had a lot of problems. And this is all put out by Gawker, by the way. That's why they've won the Dunce Cap of the Month award. This is all from Gawker. Gary Johnson sold out his party and his people, and that's why I didn't vote for him. And we've talked about it a lot on this show. However, Gary Johnson had every right in the world to run. He certainly was more equipped to be president and would have done a better job than Hilary Clinton. But Johnson took votes away from Clinton because he talked Gawker the way you want them to. You're a leftist magazine. We need more people like Bernie Sanders. Bernie. Okay, we gave you Bernie. You got Bernie. You got Clinton Bernie. You got Gary Johnson Bernie. You had Jill Stien Bernie. All four of them got their asses handed to them because we don't want Bernie. So here you go, friends. The Dunce Cap of the Month Award. There it is. I'm going to hold it up close for the higher definition. Here's what I wrote. The Dunce Cap of the Month Award. This is the owner of Gawker, who Hulk Hogan wisely sued the tar out of. Just when the world thought that after Hulk Hogan, the Gawker rag just could not get any less credible, it did. Keep in mind, they own this conglomerate that I was reading from. Rather than look at the dreadful candidate that no sane person would ever at any time elect with Mrs. Clinton, you ran an article blaming Gary Johnson and Jill Stien. Never mind Clinton's unreasonable belief in man-made global warming, her helping NAFTA, her ties to big banks that has stolen the nation's wealth, I wrote, her spirit cooking staff, or the proven fraud and scam that is her foundation. Instead, you choose to attack two people who sounded like Bernie Sanders, which you claim to want to see more candidates sound like. Yet when they do, you say F you to them, only I wrote the whole word out. You are an idiot. There it is. I'm mailing that to Gawker, along with the hat that you get to see here. I got colorful this time. I'm not really sure why, but I like it. It looks stupid, and it is a dunce cap, so stupid is the way to go. Now, this one's good. There's my caricature of Jill Stien. That's not so bad. It says, I never said vote Trump. I said vote Stein. And then you've got Gary Johnson. Now, this is a good one. I'm really happy with the way this one came out. That looks just like him. That's one of my best ones, I must say. That is one of my finest artworks there. Although not as good as the Islamic one I did. F me. I never said vote Trump. I said vote Johnson. There you go. Now, this is all going to be mailed to Gawker. And that's the Dunce Cap of the Month Award. Do me a favor, friends. If you want to get one of these, it's $5. Want to get one of these? It's $5. Now, these ones up top, I've only got a few of these left because the election's over. You can get both of them for $7. Donate up to correctviews@hotmail.com. Every penny you give towards me goes towards a better show. And you can always donate at PayPal through correctviews@hotmail.com. We need it to happen, friends. It's what's going to help us grow and flourish as a show. Christelle is stubbing her toe, and I rhymed. Good night, friends. God bless.